Oh, my thing says it is.
Oh no.
Well,
We
hello
started at
and
30
welcome everyone. We're
seconds.
starting a little bit early. You might even get 29 and a half minutes today. Who knows? But because we started about 30 seconds early. But this is Chef Doug DiMercurio along with my partner and friend, Chef Katrina Van Oudhoosden. Did I say that right again? I'm going to ask you every week if I said it right.
Perfectly.
So it's yeah, that's as fun to say as my own name. And we've got a very special guest with us tonight, Mr. Nick Haubner. And so this is going to be a lot of fun. Katrina, I'll let you take care of the housekeeping as usual because you're so good at that.
Yeah.
And let's kick off the 29-minute hangout.
Well, good evening, everybody. This is Chef Katrina, and we're at the 29-minute hangout. So you guys know the rules and regulations of this 29-minute hangout. You guys have every opportunity to ask questions to our special guests, pick their brains, find out what's going on. We do kind of lead the conversation in, but this is an open forum. So basically anything goes, and all of our guests know that. So you guys make sure you guys have the Q&A open. Please make sure you ask your questions as we go through. Again, this is 29 minutes. So it goes really, really fast. But I'd like to welcome our special guest this evening. It is Mr. Nick Haubner. Nick has been hanging around the internet industry for a while. He has done amazing training on Facebook marketing. He is a traffic guru, a lead generation machine. And, I mean, there's just so many amazing things about Nick that he does in the background. I know that we probably don't even know a tenth of what you did for Elite Marketing Pro in terms of helping them market, build their business, and everything else. I know you are a huge, huge asset to them. And I know that you decided that you wanted to spread your wings and take flight on your own. So I know you're stepping out into your own entrepreneurial world right now, Nick. It's super exciting to see what you're doing out there. And we're just dying to know, how did you get started in all of this? Like, what was your beginnings of getting into this internet marketing world? Like, where did that all start?
Okay, so I started like many people do in network marketing, and wasn't a huge fan, but like I didn't want to do. I knew there was something more than just like going to college and doing that whole thing, and it wasn't for me. School was never for me. I didn't like it, so I actually went on the internet really quickly, like 2 months in. So I don't have a story of like 9 years of struggle and then I finally found the internet. I literally found it like 2 months later. And I actually ran into a product launch, and it was the first product launch I've ever experienced. So if anyone here has remembers your first product launch ever, you remember that feeling of being like, oh my god, they're giving me so much value, and then you get the second video, you're like, oh my god, and like you're in the hype of it. Nowadays, like if you've been through a failure, you're like, I know how this thing works. But in the first one, you're just like super hyped up, and it just so happened that Jonathan Budd, he was doing the first Get Traffic 3.0 right then, and a week later, actually Magnetic Sponsoring started doing Alpha Networker 2.0, I think. So I was immersed in these two launches, and I was like, just starry-eyed. I was like, oh my god, this world's amazing. There's just all this cool stuff going on. Ended up buying Get Traffic 3.0, and didn't get Alpha Networker 2.0 because I had to choose between the both. I was like, I think I was 20 years old at the time, pretty young kid, so I didn't have a lot of money. I was going to college, so I didn't really have a ton of money from the job too. So, anyways, bought that. Borrowed money to buy it, and ever since that point, I fell in love with online marketing. I immersed myself in that course. I started doing everything that I was taught. Started building a fan page, which actually I ended up not building that fan page and started building a new one and such. But had a lot of fun and started doing a lot of stuff in online marketing. Also, because Jonathan Budd is such I would say, an enlightened human being. I got into some of his other courses, and that led me also not just with online marketing, but into a lot of self-growth and development, which is what I love so much about this space and entrepreneurship in general, that entrepreneurs, people who want to be in this arena, come here knowing full well that they're not good enough yet. Now, that sounds like a little weird to say you're not good enough yet, but you're not. Knowing full well that you have to become more than what you are now. And so self-growth goes along with entrepreneurship so well. So I was so excited to be involved in both those, and it really led me to going to the Unstoppable Entrepreneur, which I can't remember if that was like 5 months later. I think it was that coming year, because that was November going into December and coming around. I think the launch was like February, and the event was like May or something like that. First Unstoppable Entrepreneur, first event I've ever been to, and I didn't attend it like like many people attend events. In fact, I actually got pulled out of the event by a friend of mine at the time, and he took me to meet some very interesting people. The first person I saw was Maria Andros. We walked up to a bar area. They weren't in the event room. Maria Andros, she stands up. She comes, gives me a hug. Oh my God, I saw your video. It's better than mine. My video is still online. You can go see it. It's not better than hers, trust me. The second person I met, who actually pulled a chair over for me to sit down, was none other than Mr. Tim Irway. And so that was the first time I met Mr. Tim Irway. And throughout that weekend, we kind of hung out and chatted a little bit more. We actually had some funny pictures of hugging and being goofballs. And then it wasn't too long after that, about 9 months later, that I got a call. And that's when I began my entrepreneurial journey as an employee, but it was much more of an entrepreneurial experience because I was working from home. I didn't have specific hours, and I'm very grateful for that experience.
Yeah, the entrepreneurial internship, huh?
Exactly. It's kind of like that.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. That's awesome. So, I mean, there's a couple of good points in there that are interesting, and the main one that that I picked up on is you went to the live event, and you met people who you looked at as superstars, gurus, whatever, and found out they're just real people.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean,
yeah.
And so, and they are superstars and they are gurus in the industry, but they're no different than you. Now, a lot of people look at you the same way that you looked at them, and you're not any different than you were then. You just know a little bit more about how to do all this.
Mm-hmm.
So great.
How important was it for you to attend the live event? Like, do you think you would be in the same space you are now if it wasn't for going to that live event and not experiencing it just as a person in the audience, but being pulled aside and getting that little more one-on-one attention?
So, looking back on it, the biggest thing I got from it was the connections, which led me to all of these great things, and being able to work with a magnetic sponsor, which turned into Elite Marketing Pro for almost 3 years. That was an amazing experience, and I had a lot of fun. I was forced to learn a lot of new things in order to actually be able to do the things that I wanted to do and needed to do. So yes, and on the other end too, much of what I have learned as far as marketing has been learned through webinars and online. So it's interesting because I've never actually attended a live event. Like, I've never actually sat in the audience. Like, I never. It's kind of one of those bizarre things. I'm like waiting to the day that I actually go to an event and attend it to take notes. I've still to this day never gone to an event and done that. Call me a rebel, but so I've actually had to learn a lot of things online. So I've learned that, but it's always the amazing connections that I've made with people that have resulted in JVs and employment and just some really cool friendships just in general, which can lead in the future to other fruitful connection or JVs. Now, one of the other biggest things, and I think this is probably the biggest piece, every time I went to an event for 3 to 4 months afterwards, I was fired up. Like, I was fueled. Like, for the first month, it's like you can literally run on just that fuel alone. You don't even have to have your own inspiration. So I think that's how come events are so important. Like, if you go there and the only thing you come back with is a whole bunch of inspiration, that's worth it in itself.
Yeah,
I would agree with that. I mean, go ahead, Katrina.
No, I'd have to agree.
I didn't mean to step on you.
No. Well, we both said the same thing, actually. We both agree. There's an energy in the room that you can't get online that requires you to be in that atmosphere. And when you're surrounded by entrepreneurs and when you're surrounded by like-minded people and there's an energy and an excitement that goes on, it literally does carry you. Absolutely carries you for the next 3 to 6 months. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I guess the point I would emphasize too is that what I've said all along is that whenever I've gone to live events, I get more information and more value from the time spent in between the actual sessions that are presented on stage. I mean, I go there and I've gone there and I have gone and taken notes. But it's the relationships that you make, the people you meet, the relationships you make in the hallways and and after hours and so on, outside of the planned events, that really is the majority of the value. And you made that point more than clear because you've never actually gone in and sat in the audience and watched the presenters, and you got all your value outside of the organized part of the event. And yeah, so that's huge. I mean, and I agree. You can buy the live stream, but you're not going to get the value. If, like you said, if you had bought the live stream, you wouldn't have gotten the value and made the connections and met the people that you had met. So yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, I would never buy a live stream.
Yeah. So Nick, a question from Nikki coming from our audience. What helps you to stay grounded in this industry and just doing what you do every day? Like, I know it can be so easy to go and chase squirrels and get your ego stroked so much you kind of get like overbearing. So what helps you stay grounded in this?
Well, I gotta say that it's the realization that three-dimensional reality is nothing more than a holographic projection.
That's kind of zonky.
I
thought the one before that, DeFritis wanted some zonk.
Yes. Hillary wanted some zonk on the 29-minute hangout. She's like, I missed the zonk.
That's my answer.
All right. Will you be attending the No Excuse 6 this year? Are we going to see your wonderful face there in the audience?
I don't know. I've yet to receive a speaker agreement. I've heard a lot of noise. I've heard a lot of, hey, Nick, we're going to have you on stage. Hey, Nick, we're going to have you on stage. But I've yet to actually get some confirmation, some real tangible stuff. So I can't honestly say that I will or will not be. I don't even know yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So let's go back to some of the things that I've seen you do over the years is basically a lot of traffic, a lot of lead generation. And I know that's a big hang-up for a lot of people. And especially it was for me when I first got started was, what the heck is traffic and how do you drive it to an offer? I think that's a big mystery to so many people. Can you clear up the mystery a little bit?
About driving traffic?
Yeah, like how do you do that? Like how do you get traffic to an offer? Because it just, for so many people, and especially those in the home business industry and people out there in any industry, they always struggle with getting more people to their site or more people to their offer. What could they possibly be missing?
All right, I'm going to say a lot of controversial stuff right now because I'm free to say whatever the hell I want. Now, I hope it's okay if I curse a little bit. I'll try not to a lot.
No problem.
Okay. All right. So I just want to respect your hangout. Anyways, one thing has pissed me off quite a bit recently, and it's that nobody is listening to me. I have said over and over and over again that you cannot promote MLM, network marketing, or any such thing like that on Facebook. And so somebody, not going to mention names, goes and does a training, and everyone follows advice, and guess what happens? Accounts get banned, ads get shut off, disapproved. Are you kidding me? Like, I have trained this from day one. My information comes from a gentleman, Kurt Malley, who spends $500,000 plus per month in ad spend. I know my shit. Listen to me. All right, so I had to get that out because this is serious stuff. If your account gets banned, you're screwed. Facebook is still the #1 traffic source right now, and they're only getting better. Their targeting is getting so refined right now. It's amazing what you can do on there. You can target people based on purchase behavior. Like, it's just nuts. Don't be stupid. Listen to these things. Read the terms of use. It clearly says in there that you can't do that. If somebody teaches you to do it just because they did it and they got lucky and didn't get banned, don't listen to them. They got lucky. It says in the terms of use. The terms of use aren't wrong. So anyways, there's that. Now, kind of demystifying this whole thing, it's not really that difficult. It's quite fun, actually, when you start to hone your skill in this. Now, you got to look at Kurt. Kurt is also like he's really taught me a lot about paid advertising in general. You can't look at Facebook marketing when you spend money as blowing money, spending money, or any other thing that basically has the mindset of I'm just pouring money into this thing. It's investing. You're investing in data. You're investing in whether or not your ad is converting, or you're investing in who your target market is, or you're investing in how many people like your fan page and what demographic and where they come from. You're investing in data, and that's the most valuable asset you can be building right now, because that kind of data is going to show you not only what you can do with paid advertising, but also who you should be catering to. What type of videos should you be recording? What style? Who is your avatar? Screw creating Sally Joe, on a piece of paper. Go on Facebook, run $50 in ads, and see who your avatar really is. That's the reality of it. So that's how come I love particularly Facebook. Some other advertising platforms allow you to do this. PPV, please just stop doing PPV. Like, don't do PPV. Like, people who should do PPV are people who have like thousands of dollars to blow. Anyways, PPC. Focus on Facebook pay-per-click if you're going to start with any paid advertising, and start with just one ad. Literally, start with one ad. See how that one ad does, and refine that one ad. Change the picture if it's not converting well. Change the text if it's not converting well. Don't load it up with a bunch of ads because it gets really overwhelming. Start with one offer, one ad, see how it does. If it's not doing as well as you want, if it's over $3 a lead, then I would probably fine-tune that a little bit better. If you're around $2 a lead, you're doing pretty well. If you're in the $1 per lead, you're doing really good. If you're under $1, you're God. I want to learn from you. So, so I hope that helps a little bit, because I don't want to waste, I don't want to use too much time on this because it's a whole training. It's like a 4-hour webinar itself. But that should kind of clear up a couple things.
Yeah.
I think you personally cleared up a lot. I'm glad you not talked about MLMs and network marketing and ads. Like, oh. But I have another question for you, because I know there's a strategy you're using right now about building a fan page on Facebook. Touch a little bit upon that for me and why you're strategically doing that.
Oh, God. This is such a fun strategy, and this is something I've built. I was inspired by Kate McShay. I'll give her the inspiration piece, but the strategy is definitely mine. So what I'm doing right now is I have a 5-post-per-day strategy. I'll cover that real quick just so you can kind of take the pieces out of it. So you want to be posting daily because you want Facebook, first of all, to know that you're engaged on your fan page, but also you want to really start to build that edge rank. And because you can get a lot of organic reach if you start doing this very consistently at consistent times of the day. And also, when you do start doing paid advertising, the people who have actually engaged with any one of your 5 posts in that day are going to see your ads, and you're going to pay. You'll pay cheaper, click or lead or whatever. I'll talk about that in a second. Anyways, 5 posts. First one is a photo quote post. Don't do 5 photo quote posts. I've used to do that. It's so boring, it sucks. Doing 1 per day allows me to pick only the best ones, and that's fun, right? So photo quote post, text post. I do fun facts. You can do just about anything. Text post. Then I do a link post. I'll use the app. It's called Sniply. Snip, SNIP.ly. Sniply allows you to snip a URL and put your own call to action in it. You can figure that out on your own. Just sniply.com, snip.ly.com. You can see it. It's cool. And I'll put a link in there to a really interesting article from, like, I've been doing a lot of stuff with Digital Marketer, Quick Sprout, Fortune magazine. So I'll find cool articles. If it's a blog day, I do 3 blogs per week. If it's a blog day, I'll do my own blog post. Then the 4th one, these last 2 of the day are branding posts. The 4th one is a story post. I'll go find a picture from the past. Maybe something really interesting happened in my day. Sometimes crazy stuff happens, and I'll use that as the story post. Every day something crazy happens. But anyways, so it'll be a story post. I'll tell a story. I'll kind of build like, oh, that's a little bit of who Nick Haubner is. That's cool. 5th post of the day is a video post, 60 seconds or less. If it's blog day, it's a teaser video to go to my blog post. If it's not, it's an epiphany, a book review, a product review, something really quick, snappy, less than 60 seconds. So there's probably going to be a replay, I hope, because that was like
It's
crazy.
recorded. Yeah.
All right,
This is
perfect.
recorded. It'll be on iTunes also.
Cool. Okay, perfect. So that's the strategy in a nutshell for posting. Now, how come I'm building this thing? Well, you might know that it's pay to play these days. You got to pay for just to get likes, and I'm paying to get likes, and I'm very enthusiastic about that. So I'm doing this because what I'm doing is I'm building a list. The idea of list has evolved. The word list, building a list, having a list has evolved over the years. It used to be addresses, then the phone came out, and now then it was phone numbers, and then it was the internet with emails, and then now social media. Nobody is talking about this. I haven't heard it a lot, but I'm talking about it. So maybe I'll be the first. Maybe there's somebody else. I think that one of the best lists you can be building is your social media list right now, because especially with Facebook, because Facebook allows you to retarget your own fans for much, much cheaper than targeting cold traffic. So what I'm doing, and you can pay for likes and get I'm getting 26-cent likes right now. So 26-cent likes, that's building my list. That's warm market. Then I send an ad to them, and maybe I pay less than $1 per lead. Not bad, right? Say it's $1.26 per lead. That's really cool. So that's how come I'm doing this. And what I'm doing is I'm pulling in cold traffic into my fan page, somewhere where they're already engaged, Facebook. 5 posts per day strategy. I'm hitting them every day. Even if they don't engage with my post, if just one of my posts shows up in their newsfeed for that day, I mean, I'm posting 5. One of them's got to show up, and they've got to be scrolling through their mobile device or something. When it does come time to send them to my lead capture page or to sell them something, they remember my face. They remember, oh, that's that Nick Haubner guy. I think I liked his page. And just that alone is better than taking traffic from somebody completely cold. They have no idea who you are, and then trying to sell them something. And if you're an affiliate, this is even more important, because if you're sending somebody from cold traffic straight to a capture page that's, say, just a very simple capture page with no video or branding on it, and they opt in, they have no clue who you are. They have no clue who the person is that's about to be on the other side selling them stuff, because in most cases, sales pages don't even have branding on those. And if they do, they're not branding you. They're branding the leader on the other side. So as an affiliate, essential for you right now, even if you're just spending $5 per day, build some kind of notoriety, some kind of brand recognition. Find your thing and do that in social media. I would start on Facebook. That's my big thing right now.
Yep, that's huge. So there have been, I know we've had a number of people in our coaching group who have followed other people's advice and gotten either their ads rejected and or their accounts shut down. So if your account's shut down, is there a quick and simple method for overcoming that?
No, there's not, and that's how come I was so pissed off about it, because it's very difficult. And in many cases, you can't even get it turned back on, because Facebook won't even give you, the time of day. They don't care. Like, unless you're paying hundreds of thousands of dollars per month, like General Motors or something, they don't care. You're not a big money. Like, you're just a little marketer spending $10 here and there. So it's quite difficult. And so my recommendation is, like, don't do anything that could compromise your account, first of all. And if you do need to get it turned on, try. But the best bet is literally just to go create a new account, a completely new business ad account. Like, that's going to be your best bet. And you can do it. You can create a business ad account.
Yeah, I agree.
Is that different than a regular ad account that you would have with your list?
So,
or with your Facebook page?
So,
real quick, because we don't have a lot of time on that one. And I know
typically when you start your first ad account, it's attached to your profile.
Right.
There's a way to have a business account that's not attached to a profile.
Uh-huh.
It's an ad account. I don't know how to do it because I've never had to, but I remember talking to Kurt about it.
Yeah, I've heard some feedback on that one and some stuff, so I know it's getting around in the background, so I haven't really done a lot with it. And Bernadette actually says that if you beg and plead, they will turn your Facebook page back on. I know we had a couple of situations with our mastermind. I mean, they really were like, I didn't know, I made a big mistake. So, but you're going to go through a lot of hoops to jump through that, and it's just going to take away from your ability to market because you're waiting on something like that. So, I totally agree with the 5 post thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be worth it to bag and pleat too, just to get that turned on, because that's like an essential piece of marketing right now.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So, Doug, you got any other questions for Nick here? I know you had a big one that you always ask.
I do. This is the one that, we'll put you in the hot seat. Tell us one thing about Nick that nobody else has ever heard before.
There's a lot of things nobody's heard about Nick Haubner. One thing, I've been to 5 Peruvian medicine ceremonies.
In Peru?
Not in Peru.
Not in Peru? Okay.
Not in Peru.
Cool.
What is a Peruvian
I'll leave that
ceremony?
to your imagination. That's the source of all the zonk, of course.
Uh-huh.
No, it doesn't surprise me at all. It doesn't surprise me.
I've been out there a few times, and then I've made my way back.
So,
I'm going to
awesome.
totally ignore Hillary on this one. She goes, so I have a big question not related to business. When is Nick getting married so we can all attend the wedding?
Oh, when am I get married? In the next year, in the next maybe 2, like, I don't know, we've talked about kids maybe in the next 2 years, so.
There's the big news, folks.
There's something you may or may not have known.
There's something we may
right.
not have known.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. Actually, I'm going to reveal something about Andrew, just in case he'll ever come on here. Andrew and I have been talking. We're trying to plan a similar time frame for the kids, because we're going to homeschool them, of course. So.
Oh, my goodness.
We want to have like a network, which would be great.
Oh, that's awesome.
The Kids Network. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. So how can people get in touch with you if they want to find you online now that you have your new persona out there? Same persona.
It's really difficult to find me. I make it extraordinarily difficult. So you can go to nickhaubner.com, and that's my blog. You can find some stuff on there. Or you can go on Facebook and search Nick Haubner. And if you can't find me, because some people they couldn't find me, you can go to facebook.com/the Nick Haubner. I had to do that because my profile is Nick Haubner. So if you go to the Nick Haubner, that's my fan page. You can follow me on there. You can actually, I'd recommend that if you're going to play with the strategy, because then you get to see it in action. You just say, oh, that's how it works. Okay, I am starting to get it. All right. So that's where you can find me.
And YouTube.
And YouTube.
Right?
I'm everywhere. You can find me everywhere.
You're everywhere. Yeah.
If you need advice on homeschooling, Bernie, who's a mother of 7, says that she'll teach you anything you need to know. She's homeschooled all 7 of her children.
Sweet.
So if you ever need that reference in the future.
Awesome. All right.
If you want to move to Trinidad, her kids can probably babysit for you.
All right. Right on. Right on.
All right, guys. Well, we are done. We are down to the last 60 seconds of this 29-minute hangout. So we've gone
this
through
week, I'm not going to forget. I do want to invite you all to attend next week, because we have a very special guest who Nick actually mentioned earlier in this broadcast, and we have Kate McShay coming on next week to be our guest on the 29-minute hangout. So join us then. And Katrina, I'll let you do the final wrap-up here.
Yeah, guys, if you guys like what this is, we do have like our page, our Google Plus page for the Elite Marketing Chefs, and you guys can catch all the live hangouts that we do every Tuesday night at 8:30 with internet marketers and leaders from around the industry. Also, you can also find us on iTunes at 29-minute hangout. If you look that one up, you can find us on iTunes and get the replays and hang out with us. And again, Nick, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. This has been an absolute blast. 29 minutes. It goes fast, but we're done.
It does. That was fun.
Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you guys next week. Nick, hang around for a moment, and see you guys next week with Kate McShay on the next 29-minute hangout. Have a good night, everybody.
See you then. Good.